Let's see what Brandon's doing. He's got like weird yellow marks on his face. I don't know what that's about. But Brandon.
This is a step that we're taking to inflict further pain on Putin. But there will be cost as well here in the United States. I said I would level with the American people from the beginning. And when I first spoke to this, I said defending freedom is going to cost. It's going to cost us as well in the United States.
Republican Joe Brandon isn't even sanctioning Russian oil. Biden is increasing oil prices, pivot, any percentage speed run. Oh, yeah, no. He's about to withstand he is going to get blasted by the Republicans now immediately and be like, every Republican that said, we stand in solidarity with our Ukrainian partners, we love them, we need to end the Russians immediately, we need to keep giving them Javelin missiles, are going to turn around and be like, my gas prices are too high, how could Brandon do this? It's like, well, what did you think was going to happen? Of course, take a haircut, dog. You have to. If you want to stop, if you want to fight against Russia, like you gotta take, I can't even talk. You gotta make some sacrifices. Yeah, a fun thing to remember as gas prices soar to historical highs is that the Russian oil historically only accounts for anywhere between 3 to 5% of oil imports, and it isn't even embargoed yet, because that would have absolutely fucking, like, when the Shell Corporation went and purchased crude oil from Russia in the middle of like the embargo talks, in the middle of like the sanction talks, that made up for 8%, literally just 8%. And would they be able to turn around and, I don't know, maybe take a fucking price cut on their corporate margins? On their profit margins? Shell has announced the intent to withdraw from Russian oil gas aligned with new government guidance. As an immediate first step, we will stop all purchases of Russian crude oil, shut service station of aviation fuel and lubricant operations in Russia. So they stopped now. But yesterday, they literally were like, we have to get the 8%. Like, we have to. Because otherwise, prices are going to increase. But why are prices increasing in this situation? Because you don't want to make up for it. You literally cannot take a fucking haircut. These multinational corporations that are supposedly so fucking woke, you know what I mean? They're so great. They can't even fucking accept somewhat of a fucking haircut. Good tweet thread on the oil market. It would be dysfunctional to promote domestic oil gas production. Production is at the level chosen by the industry based on market forces. If that's causing harm, we shouldn't subsidize it. We should admit private oil and gas markets are a failure and nationalize them. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh, what a sexy fucking take from Max Kennerly. What the fuck? Bear in mind, domestic oil and gas prices bear no relation to domestic supply and demand. The U.S. does not have a shortage of oil or gas. We have a huge excess of natural gas that we export. We have a bit of an oil oversupply compared to 2014, which is winding down. Instead, we have a system in which private oil and gas companies can, for profit, drill on public lands, shift international price movements to the United States consumers, and then transfer wealth upwards via dividends and stock buybacks instead of investing in production. Neat trick, huh? Oil nations prodded by Trump reach deal to slash production. For the record, this is what I've been talking about over and over again. The idea that like oil prices are going to increase as a consequence of the production is still a capitalist, is still absolutely a capitalist invention, okay? It's just how the world works. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just simply telling you how it works. OPEC is setting the prices. America wants OPEC to supply more, but OPEC plus countries, including Russia, are like, well, why the fuck would we supply more when we can, get $100 plus per barrel? Okay. Now, we are also oil producers as well, obviously. But when I say we, I mean American corporations based out of the United States of America. They get 85% of the energy production subsidies currently as it stands to their fossil fuel industry extraction methods. Those are the corporations that then go along with OPEC. Fear is playing out in the stock market as the war rekindled, inflation concerns, and clouded the outlook for corporate profits. The S&P 500 energy sector has been one of the few bright spots, continuing its reign on the top performing group in the index, up 35% in 2022. Oil and gas companies like ExxonMobil, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips have posted double-digit gains in this year, benefiting from a rise in oil prices. So the rise in oil prices help out the OPEC plus nations, including Russia. The rise in the oil prices help out Chevron and ExxonMobil, and they help out the oil corporations. So remember that. Whenever we talk about war, you have to understand that if we are engaging in economic warfare against Russia, if this is real war, but it's not like, hot war, but it's actually more so a cold war, and we are currently engaging in this kind of war, what you have to understand is that there are methods, but the United States, the U.S. government is never going to behave like a wartime government, like it once did during World War II. We are not commanding our companies that benefit greatly from our public lands and our natural resources and our tax dollars subsidizing these corporations to actually fucking take a pay cut. So remember that whenever we have a conversation about, oil prices, gas prices, like, oh, let's go branded. Okay? Numerous politicians bought energy plays before their run-ups and general discussions on banning Russian oil. Ooh, unusual whales with a fucking nice take. Many are on committees privy to private information, including defense and energy. Many had not purchased energy plays before. Marjorie Taylor Greene bought American oil stocks, war stocks, and renewable energy stocks one day before the invasion, also tweeting, "War and rumors of war are incredibly profitable and convenient." Remember when Kelly Loeffler did that? And the other guy also? It would be so sick if we could just fucking throw them in jail. All I'm saying is it would be fucking sick. It would be awesome if we could just like fucking jail them, dude. Why? It'd be so fucking tight, dude. It would make me feel so happy. Robert Whitman bought energy ETF on January 28th. Mark Green, who frequently invests in energy stocks, recently bought up to $1 million. Virginia Fox bought PAA, PPL, PSX February 15th. Energy stocks, which was reported today. These trades are unusual as many had not purchased energy before. Let's get this straight. An NFL player loses $11 million salary for betting $1,500 on a game. Meanwhile, politicians are making multiple trades on private information expecting a rally. This is inexcusable. God, they're so good. War is good for business, baby. They're fucking, all these people. They're making a fucking killing, baby. They are. Same with the fucking oil guys, okay? Same with the oil barons. Instead, we have a system in which private oil gas companies can, for profit, drill on public lands. We already talked about this. Chevron doubles buyback as spending cap helps lift cash flow. On March 1st, Exxon is cutting even more costs. Investor Day comes right after the decision to exit Russia. New savings goal could fund 60% of the oil giant's large dividend. Biden is not limiting domestic oil production. It's at 2019 levels because U.S. companies don't want to invest in production. They want to give profits to the shareholders. Some big secret or conspiracy theory, it's what shale oil companies have been saying publicly. On top of that, the oil markets themselves are suggesting to companies that current prices are temporary. Oil futures are back war dated. Oil's cheaper the farther out in time you go. A barrel from a year from now is 20% cheaper than one today. People suggesting promote domestic oil and gas production presume it's limited by the government. It's not. Production is where our highly profitable market wants it. Don't like that? Then why would you throw more money at it, rewarding all this and making its incentives even worse? If you want controllable oil and gas production that responds to the U.S. policy and economic needs rather than short-term profits, fine, nationalize production and control it. If you want off this murderer-funding, world-destroying fossil fuel merry-go-round, then go green. The end. This is a really fucking cool Twitter thread by this man, Max Kennerly, who's a trial lawyer by day and Cookie Monster by night, apparently.
The decision today is not without cost here at home. Putin's war is already hurting American families at the gas pump. Since Putin began his military buildup on Ukrainian borders, just since then, the price of the gas at the pump in America went up 75 cents. And with this action, it's going to go up further. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home. In coordination with our partners, we've already announced that we're releasing 60 million barrels of oil from our joint oil reserves. Half of that, 30 million, is coming from the United States. And we're taking steps to ensure the reliable supply of global energy. We're also going to keep working with every tool at our disposal to protect American families and businesses. Now, let me say this. To the oil and gas companies and to the finance firms that back them, we understand Putin's war against the people of Ukraine is causing prices to rise. We get that. That's self-evident. But, it's no excuse to exercise excessive price increases or padding profits or any kind of effort to exploit this situation or American consumers, exploit them. Russia's aggression is costing us all, and it's no time for profiteering or price gouging. This crisis is a stark reminder to protect our economy over the long term, we need to become energy independent. I've had numerous conversations over the last 3 months with our European friends of how they have to wean themselves off of Russian oil. It's just not tenable. It should motivate us to accelerate the transition to clean energy.
Putin should probably
This is a perspective that our European allies share, and the future where together we can achieve greater
I want to mention one more time that I have always and will continue to always be an advocate for nationalizing our extraction industries. I think that it is the smart thing to do. I think it's what we should have always done. We should have been doing it since day one, okay? It's a great idea. We should do it yesterday. Okay? It'd be fucking sick. Obviously, it's never going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is nationalization at the top of the hour ad break, which you can avoid, of course, with a fucking Twitch Prime for free. Twitch Prime is free as long as you connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, or with a $5 subscription, or if you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub.